I'm Michelle.
And I'm Ronald.
And this is Talking Squirrels,
the middle school ministry podcast. Michelle,
Ronald,
do you design things often? Or do you have a design, a bug that you get that you're like, I need to make some stuff happen. I need to look at pretty things.
I really like making graphics. I'm not great at it, but I just really like playing around with things. We've been really blessed because we have a communications person on our staff who does all graphic designing for big events, for the main church service, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in student ministries, it's me.
Mm.
So that's been really fun getting to practice doing certain things.
So you have a person on staff who does graphic things for the church, but not anybody for student ministries specific.
Right. If we asked her, she would. No, she probably wouldn't do it. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
What she's already doing is a lot of work.
Well, she's already doing so many different things.
Yeah.
And what she does is, when we have our camps, she'll design the camp logo for us.
Oh, for the big stuff, like camp.
For the big stuff, yeah, which is so awesome. We're so thankful for her. But yeah, our sermon series, things like that, I'm usually the one designing those.
For student ministry stuff. So do you design just middle school, or do you help a high school pastor out too?
Right now I've been doing just middle school. I love our high school pastor. He's really funny. He doesn't do any of that kind of stuff.
I was about to say, your reaction wasn't making me feel like graphics was their strong point.
It is not a thing in their book.
Mm.
So usually if they do anything, it's a black background with white text.
You know what? Clean and simple is nice.
Super simple, super easy, straight to the point. Here's the time and date.
As long as it's not Comic Sans font, I think you're going to be fine with that.
They're good at that. Yeah.
I love graphic design stuff. I wish I was better at it, but I'm definite. I can appreciate. I can tell when somebody's put in a lot of hard work on something. But
yeah, I love watching the DYM Facebook posts because people will post some of their things and I'm like, man, these are really good.
I was just about to ask if you creep on other youth ministries stuff just to see what they're doing.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
I absolutely do.
A lot of what we do is copied.
That's part of the youth ministry, right?
Yeah, or borrow.
It's kind of you borrow things or take things.
Borrowed heavily. Yeah.
Borrowed heavily, yeah.
Yeah, there's not copy and paste that I've done for sure, but I'm I like the look of this. I'm going to try to make it look like I made it myself, but on a budget.
Here's a similar picture.
Yeah. Not
that one, but same idea.
So when you're designing stuff, making stuff, do you have Photoshop, or do you just use free stuff like Canva? What do you do?
So I do a multitude of things. I don't know if that's the right word for this, but
sure.
I would love Canva. I think for any youth pastor, that should be one of their go-to things, especially if you don't have budget.
Oh yeah.
Canva's huge. But then we do have Photoshop as well.
Yes.
And so I'll use that if I want to make something a little bit more in depth. But then so what I started with was this thing called Pixelmator.
Pixelmator?
Which is a Mac specific. Basically, it's Photoshop for Mac, but not Photoshop.
Right.
I think it was $20 to buy from the App Store. And it's great. I really like it.
Right. That budget sounds right. I think that's just right for a youth ministry. $20 sounds good.
Right. And it does a little bit more than Canva. So you can actually, feel like you're doing some sort of graphic designing, not just placing things on.
Oh, totally.
Where Canva is kind of you just kind of place things and, which is great if you need things right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think as I grow in designing things, I like the challenge of trying to make it look cool and putting gradients on or different backgrounds and stuff like that.
Gradients and masks and other Photoshop words.
Right? Layers.
Look at all these layers.
Placing images.
So what I have done a little bit of is cheating in the good way. I'll use my phone to design stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when I am, let's see, I use Word Swag is an app.
Yes, Word Swag is awesome.
And Over. So those two for my last sermon series that I did, I designed the I guess the title slide and the little hey, here's the same slide but with the title in like small corner. That was
So
all
good.
word swag.
Rad.
And normally you can set the like proportions to be 16:9, I think is the right one for that.
Yeah, I think that's what we have too.
That sounds right.
That's like the long one, right? Like the big, like long one.
Yeah. So not like
The wide, whatever.
square screen, but a little bit more landscapey screen.
Yeah.
Landscapey.
I think that Over though, Over is an app for those that have never heard of it. It's literally just called Over. Is a game changer.
Oh yeah, because you can put stuff on top of stuff. You can edit it with your phone.
Yeah, I think they give you basically a design.
They do. Like you can mess with pre-existing designs, which is why I
Yeah.
like it. But it's also why I like Canva.
Yes. Yeah, the Canva's done huge on adding more things too.
Yeah, so you can just take something that somebody else has already made and then like change the details. Like I just did that with like a barbecue thing that we're doing
Oh, nice.
at the end. Like I just typed in Canva barbecue, found a design, changed the details, printed it, and it was done.
It's so easy.
Yeah. So there's a lot of free stuff out there that you can do. There's some stuff that you can pay for a little bit. Like I think I paid for Over. It was like $6 to get like one step up.
Oh, nice.
And then
I
like
think I still have the free one.
yeah. Well, and then like there's kind of the mid-range stuff like Pixelmator and other design things that are like maybe 20 some odd, a little bit more.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit more.
Yeah, but you can certainly fit that into your budget.
Oh, absolutely. That's like such an easy, like, you'll have that forever.
Yeah. But
It's a
then
one-time deal.
you get up into the Photoshop realm then, and it's like, actually,
You're paying $600 like every year.
okay, so true story. We have on my computer right now, I have the last version of Photoshop that was just buy it once.
Yes.
And so I was doing something at home and I had to edit something that was in Photoshop. I was like, okay, well, let me download the free trial. It's not a free trial. It actually takes the money out of your account, all $250 out of your account.
Does it really?
And if you delete it or whatever, cancel your free trial, then it puts the money back. That was not fun.
Interesting.
And so now that Photoshop is cloud-based, it's a yearly subscription of $250. That was the cheapest one I could find.
Yeah, I think yeah.
So if you're okay and your church budget is like, yeah, we can eat this, Photoshop, it's about for the Creative Cloud. And it comes with some other programs like Adobe and some other stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll use InDesign. I think that came with it.
InDesign scares me.
Does it? That's awesome.
Photoshop.
It's not that once you get used to it, it's actually pretty nice.
So back in the day when I was doing a lot more of my design stuff, like the print things, I was using Publisher. I can work my way around Publisher, but InDesign, for some reason, the learning curve is just really high for me.
Is it bad that I don't know what Publisher is?
That might be our decades.
I was like, is that an age thing?
It might be. It might be. At what point did I become the veteran old youth pastor? I remember when
from Publisher.
Yeah, you're right. I remember VHS tapes. Which is funny. I do.
I had them
when you were like 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So for the graphics thing, for sure, there's a lot that you can do. I think using Canva and Overs, like pre-made stuff, is great, but also going on Instagram and just looking at other youth ministries and what they do, I think that's really helpful for getting stuff. Oh, you know what else is a surprisingly helpful tool to design stuff sometimes?
What?
Is PowerPoint.
Really? I haven't used PowerPoint.
Okay, so
I use PowerPoint. I've used it.
So I will use it to like remove backgrounds of pictures and to like change colors of things and add a filter on some stuff.
Interesting.
I will use PowerPoint because then you have a really great tool in there. Once you design it, you can take everything and export it as JPEGs or PNGs.
That's true.
And then it's just an image. So then
Interesting. I have not thought of using that.
So that is my old man way, since I am so old. And I'll take that, and that's the way that I can design some stuff really quick in PowerPoint, and then I use that for my graphics or whatever I'm doing.
That's really smart.
I hope so, because because that's one way that I cheat and I get around it.
I love it.
Well, and then also something that you can do is you can combine these programs. So maybe you like start off in Over to design your image, but then you save it and you take it to WordSwag to add your text. So like
That's a really good idea too.
combining some of these things, you might not have one program that does it all, but you have two programs that if you put them together, it helps and you can do it that way.
Kind of get super creative.
Yeah. Again, I'm not super creative, but if I can look at something and go, that's like the vibe, that works out.
I love it. One of the other places that I've gone a lot to get even just like some of my photos from is Unsplash.
I was just about to say, where do you get your pictures?
I do Unsplash for like the real life photos.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, if you haven't heard of it, it's this free website. They also have an app, and it's like high quality photos.
And royalty free.
Yes.
So that like if you're going to do it all, if you wanted to, you could go to Google, search whatever image you wanted, and then put it up on your screen. But may not 100% be super legal all the time.
Right. Which I didn't know, by the way.
You didn't know about...
I didn't know about that until like a couple of months ago, and I was like, oh.
I'm like, maybe I was doing this poorly. Well, and so there's a whole bunch of laws and things like that. But the main thing you want to consider is, did the photographer or the person who created that image give you permission to use it for free?
Right.
And
Unsplash does that.
Unsplash, totally free. Another one is Pixabay. So
yes, yeah.
Pixabay. It's normally not as cool looking as Unsplash. Unsplash is like, I mean, their photos are fantastic.
It's high resolution, high quality.
Pixabay is you can find a little bit more specific stuff, but the quality is not always as great.
I think WordSwag uses Pixabay.
Yeah, you can.
I think that's there.
Yeah, if you're looking in WordSwag and you want to add in a picture, it'll let you choose between the pictures on your phone, and then like you can swipe over and it lets you choose Pixabay, Unsplash, and then actually Google. If there's a setting on Google when you're searching for images, if the photographer or the creator has said anyone can use this, you can actually search that library. That's an image.
Oh, that's cool.
Image search option, I guess is the right word to say that.
I like that.
Something else also. What about fonts?
Ooh, I generally go with whatever is in my stock stuff, or I'm blinking on the name, but I go and I download fonts.
Okay.
So whoever's giving away like free fonts from somewhere.
And that's a good one too. So there are lots of fonts that are not so free, or fonts that are not so legal as well. So it's kind of the same deal. There's an artist who created the font. But a website that I use that should be easy to remember if you listen to this podcast is Font Squirrel.
Is it really?
It's called Font Squirrel, yeah. And
that's fabulous.
It has most of their fonts are free for online or just screen stuff.
Oh, cool.
There's a few that they specify, hey, if you're going to print this, we would like a donation or whatever.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of fonts. So there are a lot of font websites that are out there that have fonts on them, but they might not have been acquired in the most legal of ways.
Right. Adobe, so the Creative Cloud also has fonts.
Oh, it does?
It does.
I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah, so you can go in. They have stock photos too, but normally you have to pay for those ones. But the fonts are usually free.
Oh, okay. So are there any websites that if you're going to pay for an image, are there any websites that or like services that you use that you're like, okay, this is cool? You mentioned the cloud, Creative Cloud. That's a thing.
Creative Cloud, totally. They have stock images, but I don't know of any that like I would go to pay for an image.
I have paid for a few from 123RF. I don't know what the website means. I have no idea what's going on there, but 123RF. I like that. and they're cheaper than Shutterstock, which is
Okay, I
like
didn't know Shutterstock. Yeah, I've never bought
Shutterstock
into
is just,
them.
yeah, they're expensive. 123 RF is more friendly for youth pastor budget.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And for me, okay, so talking about the how of graphics, for me, the why of graphics is our students are, you've got the students who learn through auditory, right?
Hmm.
They learn through you just talking, but then you have students who are only going to learn or mostly going to learn through visual.
Right.
And I love when we're doing graphics and designing things and things like that, taking care to like actually design something that a student would see and be like, okay, this helps it make sense in my head. I think that matters. That's important.
Yeah, I've had a couple too that say like, "Oh, I remember that series because of this graphic, or because of like the title screen, or like because you had this photo in it, or something like that."
So that's an anchor that they can be like, no, this was a great thing that Michelle taught. And I remember it because the picture.
Right.
So you might not remember white text on a black screen as well.
Yeah, it's I think they're seeing so many things because of social media and because of how amazing honestly like some of the video games are and stuff, like the quality of all of it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so they're going to notice like the quality that we put out as well.
Yeah. And even a great thing, talking about last time students serving during VBS, if you are not like the one who has great chops, find your student who has like a really killer Instagram account and ask them to make some stuff for you.
Totally. Yes.
And then that way you've got students who are like, hey, I made that image up there, or
Yeah,
I put this game together for my youth pastor. That could be a total win.
absolutely. And I think it's something that they love,
Mm-hmm.
especially if they're like, wanting to be that Instagram famous person,
So
right?
famous.
So Insta famous.
No, that could be a huge thing for you to do to empower a student to do something that they're already good at, right?
Right.
A
Yeah,
little
I think
direct.
that's just another way of serving for them in this new kind of century, like whatever we're in.
Well, and if you even think about it, that student might not be the one who wants to be up on stage, like praying or singing, but they can
Mhm.
design stuff for you.
Oh yeah, those super quiet ones who like secretly have all these amazing talents.
Yeah. What if you use that student to design some stuff and like you put it on a t-shirt? How cool would that be?
Oh my gosh,
So
that would be awesome.
I think graphics matters more than just, hey, we're youth pastors and we spend our time on Google and YouTube.
Right.
But like it matters because it helps anchor a lesson, a point, and
Mhm.
it could really empower a student down the road.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you can go post it on your Instagram of like, hey, here's what we're talking about. Give them a little preview of like what's coming.
I absolutely love doubling up stuff. So like, hey, I made the title slide for my talk, which is also an Instagram post. Booyah!
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We're just making life easier.
I'm trying, really, promise.
It's a
Hey,
goal, right?
yeah, no, it totally is. Hey, if you've got a suggestion, like we mentioned a whole bunch of apps and services and programs and websites, I'll try my best to put them all in the show notes. If you've got one that you like to use that we didn't mention, oh, please let us know. In fact, you can email us. Ooh, because this is
Ooh,
fancy. This is
email.
2019, people. You can email us at talkingscrollspodcast@gmail.com, or you can reach out through Facebook, Instagram. We even have a Twitter.
Yeah, we do. What up?
Hey, thanks so much for listening. I hope that if you don't feel like you're the most graphically amazing person in your church, then maybe there's a student who is and can super be used by you in order to feel empowered and serve and make a huge difference in their lives and in your ministry. Michelle,
Yes.
it's always great talking to you.
It's always fun, Ronald. I don't know
Hey,
if I can do this, but can I send some images into our thing so that they can download them for free if they want
yeah,
to?
we can put images into the thing like a
That's,
Dropbox.
yeah. Is it
Dropbox,
Dropbox? Is that the thing?
we could get yes. Do I know
I'm really
Dropbox
good at
and
this
you
stuff.
don't? Ooh, do
But
I
I
know
would love
Dropbox
to
and you
send
don't?
over some images that I've made to give away to you guys for free if you guys are stuck on maybe a
Yes.
series or something like that.
I was just going to make a joke about the old man knowing what Dropbox is, and
I
you
know,
maybe not.
I know what Dropbox is. I just, you know.
Okay. Hey, Michelle's going to put some fantastic stuff into the episode show notes that you can download and get some inspiration from.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's
I'm doing
fantastic.
it.
I love it.
Don't
Hey, guys,
judge me too hard.
I am super judging you. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. We will see you guys next week.
Bye.